Hello everyone and welcome to another Daily Dose of Drupal. Today we are on episode 101, and if you haven't checked out episode 100 yet, I suggest you do so. It was a pretty good episode. Today we're going to be going over the Menu Badges module. The Menu Badges module is a really cool little module that allows you to add these little number identifiers badge next to menu links. And this can be really useful for letting people know how many items are going to be displayed when they click that link. So you can see in this little screenshot it shows how many messages this link will actually hold once they click on it, or how many items are in the user's shopping cart. But before we get started, as always, I am Shane Thomas. You can follow me on Twitter at smthomas3. You can also go to codekarate.com and make sure to sign up for the newsletter. Today's sponsor is Drupalize.me. And if you haven't learned or haven't heard about Drupalize.me, I highly suggest you check them out. If you're looking to learn anything from the basics of Drupal to more complex topics on Drupal, Drupalize.me is a place you should check out. They have 674 videos and over 245 hours of Drupal training, and I can tell you that it is worth your time to check out because I've learned a lot from Drupalize.me. I was a subscriber for a long time in the past, and I can thank them for a lot of what I've learned with Drupal. And I learned a lot of the more complex things there, like security and website scalability and all those things, but it's good for beginners up until potentially experts as well. So go ahead and check that out and use the promo code or coupon code CK20FEB to get 20% off. Alright, let's go ahead and get started. I have our test site here, and I've already downloaded the Menu Badges module. And also with the Menu Badges module, you will need to download and install the Link Badges module. But I have both of those enabled on our test site. You can configure the permissions, but all it allows you to do is select who can administer the Menu Badges module. The first thing I'm going to do is I do have the PrivateMsg module installed. You can see a past episode of how I got that installed. But basically it's going to show, we want the little icon to show in the top right corner to say how many messages I have or how many new messages I have. So that's the good thing about this, is it's already built in to the module itself, the link or the Menu Badges module. So I simply come into my user menu and I will go to the links. It says here I have one new, and if I go and edit this menu, it's going to allow me to select a display menu badge. Now, as you can see, there's already some pre-populated in this list. So I simply select unread count for the current user, click save. You'll see now I already have this little display icon or badge up in the top right corner. So I'll simply save this and close out, and I have my little menu badge. So while that is obviously very useful, there may become times when you need to display it on your own custom pages or custom views. So in a past episode I created a bookmarks section, and I'm going to show you an example using views, so make sure you have the views module installed, of course, of how to get the little icon to show up on the top right of this My Bookmarks link inside the navigation menu. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and I'm just going to edit this view. And I'm going to add another item here. And I want to select Menu Badge as the type of view. And I'm going to basically I can give this a title if I need to, but I'll go ahead and leave that. You can leave all the rest the same. You can select a field. Since you're going to be aggregating these fields, you can go ahead and select just the content NID will work. Unselect the label because it's not needed. I'll also need to select the filter criteria. So I'm going to use the same filter criteria that I used over here. So I'll need to make sure I used only published content, but I'm also going to need to set these relationships because this is using the flags module. As I mentioned before, you can make sure you go and check out that module or that episode of the Daily Dose of Drupal if you haven't already, as it will allow you to see how I actually got this view set up in the first place. So I'll add the relationship, which is just going to give me a relationship for that flag. And I only want it for the current user. Include only the flagged content. Select the bookmarks. I'm also going to need to add a content author relationship, I believe. Let me just check one thing here. I actually don't believe I need that. So I'm going to go ahead and take that one off. I don't think that one is actually needed because I'm not using any fields that require that relationship. So I'll go ahead and make sure I also select to use aggregation. And this is important. If you're familiar with SQL or making database queries, this aggregation is basically going to allow you to group things. So this grouping is of course going to limit the number that's shown. So it's actually not just going to give you just the NID. So if I go ahead and turn this off, you'll be able to see what's showing down here right now is this NID. If I group this, it's not just going to show the NID. I can come in here and select the aggregation settings and select count. Now it's going to say I have one item instead of just the node ID of 3. It's saying there's just one item because I'm counting the number of items. This aggregation is similar to using a group by type clause inside of an SQL statement, if you're familiar with that. And that is how that works. So we're going to give that a save. Now we need to come into our menu links. So I'm going to come into my menus, my navigation menu. I'm going to go to My Bookmarks and select Edit. And I'm going to select Display Menu Badge. I didn't give it a title, but if you had given a title, it'd be a little easier to differentiate there. I'm going to save this. Now you can see it shows I have one item bookmarked. It's this test article 2. I am going to see if I can bookmark another item. Now if I click, you can see it shows I have 2 items now bookmarked. So that's really how the menu badges module works. There's also another element to the menu badges. There's a tab menu badges. And this can be used for administration pages. If you created an administration page and you wanted an icon up here on the top of an administration menu tab, you could use this as well. You simply come in here and you select the item. For instance, in the settings, I could select this item. Settings should be up here, I believe. Well, that would be the admin appearance settings. But if I saved it, you'd notice that the item now shows up in this menu tab as well. So you can use it not only for the front end, but you can also use it for the administration pages. And it's a really handy module. I'm actually using it in a project I'm working on currently. So go ahead and give it a try and let me know what you think. If you have any other suggestions for future modules you want me to review, go ahead and let me know on Twitter or send me an email or contact me on codekarate.com. Thanks again to Drupalize.me, and thank you for watching the Daily Dose of Drupal. See you next time.